together now. And 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 a pleasant good evening and welcome to Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. It is yours truly, Al Greer, officially checking in, also known as your doctor. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Coming up in our last hour, we do a thing we call foreplay, four songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female. That's in our last hour of Bedtime Stories. And of course, throughout the night, we do a thing we call Who Did It Best. I think I did that first. I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but yeah, that's what we do here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Our phone number is 773-462-4447. All right? Feel free to use that number. All right? All right. Yesterday was the birthday of this gentleman here who has been performing since he was 16 years old. He used to play the ukulele back in the day. He joined a group or a band when he was only 19 years old and went, well, back then he went viral. We're talking about the great George Benson. Okay, we're talking about the great George Benson. Here's his remake of Nature Boy, originally done by Mr. Nat King Cole, here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep, with the greatest love songs of all time. Ready for Deron Williams, good evening, sir. To me. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Good evening, Deron. How was your weekend, sir? 8. Mm. Deron, what's going on, sir? Your weekend was okay? Mine too. I spent it in South Bend, Indiana, from Friday to Sunday. South Bend, Indiana. Hello. Yep. Pamela C. Hawkins, good evening. Nice seeing you too. Wish I could see you in person. Ah, oh well, maybe one day. One day again. Hmm. Ooh, you hustle every day. I know. I know you do. I know you did. Trust me, I understand. Every day you're hustling. Take from me.
I love baseball. Ow, stop! What are you doing? Take that, you rascal! Ah. I love baseball. Ow, stop!
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Achieve. Oh, wow. Remind us how we used to be. Henry Cooper, good evening, sir. Love yourself.
I don't care if she's trans, or so, and that should tell you.
That, of course, the original version of The Greatest Love of All. Whitney didn't do the first version. George Benson did the first version. And it was featured in the movie The Greatest, which starred the person they were talking about, which was Muhammad Ali. He starred in the first movie. The last one, of course, was starred by Will Smith. That's The Greatest Love of All here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who are listening on the app right now, I'm going to put my plea out. If I could get $25 per person who are listening to me right now, I know that's not a lot or asking a lot. My donations, of course, keep the radio station going and everything else going. Via Zelle at alpgreer@gmail.com. That's Al, P as in Paul, Greer @gmail.com. And that is my Zelle information, okay? Um, if you can spare $25, and I know I have a few people who are listening right now, I would really appreciate it, and thank you. That's alpgreer@gmail.com via my Zelle. I'm not going to say anything else about it tonight because people get upset when I ask for money. I don't know why, because usually I get it and they don't. I'm just saying. alpgreer@gmail.com. Throughout the night, of course, we're going to celebrate the birthday of Mr. George Benson. But right now, celebrating two of the greatest singers of all time with the deepest voices of all time. Here's Isaac Hayes and I Stand Accused. Here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Remember, once again, Zelle at alpgreer@gmail.com. That's enough of my begging. Hello to Henry Cooper, Pamela Hawkins, and Deron Williams. Pardon me. I said, pardon me.
How long have we known each other? About 10 months? Yeah. You and John are real tight, aren't you?
Mm. How was your weekend, Henry Cooper? Yep, I went to South Bend, Indiana.
Has some issues.
And made it back. You know, usually when I drive out of town, boy, it's something. It is something. It takes me a day to recover, or 2 days in certain matters. Yep. There are 8 people who are listening to me right now. And 4 of you all are on Facebook. So if I can get at least, and if you already donated, then you're excluded from this. But if I could get $25 per person I could pay my car note on Wednesday. I'm just saying. I know you all are tired of me begging, and I'm tired of begging. So I've decided I'm going to go back to work. That's right. I'm going to find a job. Hmm. Regular old 9 to 5. And that's it. You know, people always promise that they're going to do something for me. And I'll be like, okay, all right. And so I wait for them to, I got something for you. It's coming. Okay. And I say, okay, it's coming up. All right. It's coming soon. Okay. I got you. All right. So I don't worry about it. If it's meant for me, then it will happen. What's meant for me is for me. So I'm not gonna sweat it too hard. I'm gonna sweat it because it's what keeps me from going to bed at night. Like, like a lot of us, it's like, how am I gonna pay my bills if I don't have any money to do so? And some of us are better off than others. So, once again, I'm not looking for a handout, just a hand. You know, the first part of this year was kind of rough going into the year, so that's the only reason that I asked because, you know, as a DJ, I get gigs on the weekend. So I'm usually without money until that time. So, just like you all, I have, you know, stuff to get, deodorant, you know, I had to buy deodorant when I was out in South Bend. So, if I forgot to, well, I packed some, but it was like, it's usually my travel bag. And, I don't use that, extra toothbrushes, toothpaste, that whole thing. So, yeah, the hopefully the latter part of 2026 will be much better for me. So, help a brother out. Help a brother out if you can. Baby, baby. Ooh, Lord. So I guess everybody had a great weekend. Everybody's quiet. That's a good thing. Quiet is always good. Ooh, now it's 10 listeners. Ooh. Ooh, that's even more. My sister made jambalaya. And it's good. Mmm. Not here. Not here. I got so much to give. Pamela, you still out there hustling right now? Not here. I got so much to give. Huh, went back down. Mm-mm. Two of the greatest voices of all time, Big Bad Maestro Barry White, and of course, Black Moses Isaac Hayes, right here on Bedtime Stories. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Once again, hello to Henry Cooper, Pamela Hawkins, Deron Williams. Thank you so much for being on my live, and everybody else who is listening on the apps right now. Um, I said I wasn't going to say this anymore, but donations are welcome via Zelle at alpgreer@gmail.com. Uh, I'm not just saying this just to be saying it, but if I didn't need it, I wouldn't ask. Closed mouths don't get fed. Anyway, once again, Zell, alpgreer@gmail.com. Who did this song best? Originally, it was done by Mr. Walter Jackson. This gentleman did a great job on it as well. Here's Robert Winters on Bedtime Stories. My hat. Touch your bod. Once again, if you've already made a donation, I appreciate it. Thank you. No need for any further action. Okay. But thank you. But I'm going to be all right. I believe that. You know, there's going to be a day I can get on here and give out some money. Yep. And one of these days I'm going to give away some money. I'll be in that position. I remember when I owned my own station, well, not owned the station, but had a building where I had the station. And that was a few years ago, like, let's say 12, 15 years ago, something like that. And I was on 79th. Yep, the great 79th Street, right next door to the Regal Theater on 79th and East End. And due to the pandemic, they shut the building down. After the pandemic was, kind of subsiding, they asked me, did I want to come back? And I asked my people, I said, y'all want to go back to, and it was a rousing no. Like, oh. I was paying $200 for one side and $250 for the other side. I had an office, and then I had a studio next door. A lot of nights I'd end up sleeping at home. Well, I'm sorry, sleeping in the office because I didn't have a place to stay at the time. So I figured since I was paying rent there, that I would just go ahead and just stay there. Yeah. So that kind of worked out for a while. So until they found out that not only me was sleeping there, but my son and his sons, my grandsons, were staying there. They're like, this is not for, residential, in other words. So if you need an apartment, you better check upstairs and see if there are any vacancies. So it was kind of rough. It was kind of rough. Yep, it was kind of rough. Yep, it was kind of rough. I had a cot, not a cot. What do they call those things? Day bed, and it rolled out into a full size mattress. And I slept in there, had a TV and everything. All that stuff is still on 79th Street. My TV, my my day bed. I had a rosewood desk and some chairs. So that's all still in there. When they closed the building, I couldn't get everything out. They wouldn't allow anybody to go back in the building. So I wonder if they and I had some stuff downstairs in the basement. So clothes, you name it. Yeah, all gone by now. So but it seems like every few years I I get low on funds. So yeah, and I usually come out of it. You know, I usually come out of it, and then something happens, and then it's like, oh boy, here we go again. I don't know if I do better struggling or what. I don't know. I can't figure it out. One of my sister's favorite artists, Walter Jackson and Magic Man, right here on Bedtime Stories. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend hanging out with the Biggs crew out in South Bend for the Biggs Radio Music Seminar. 20 people, I think. It was, yeah, close to about 20 people who were performing of all ages. People who would not have a stage, who would not have a voice, a place to, show their talents. They wouldn't have that. And Biggs Radio allowed them to do so. And some of them were good, some of them were not so good. Some of them were better than others. But all in all, we all had a great time. Those when we were down there from Friday to Sunday, so we all had a good time. Some of us had a better time, but I'm just saying. Look forward to doing it again, just not soon. I'm still recovering. Shout out to the Biggs crew. Here's Bill Withers, the first of two in a row on Bedtime Stories. With you. Hello. I know that's right. Can you feel it? Yo. Yo, Angie, I just got through playing Walter Jackson for you. They keep having um, these cashback things because times are tight. Gas is up to like $4 a gallon, and we keep. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. And we keep this guy in office. Gas has never been this high. For almost $5 a gallon. That's for premium. I mean, just it's just crazy. There's nothing presidential about this guy, I tell you. Mm-mm. How was your day, Angie? No, I just got through eating. I'm full and ready to go back to bed. Be the one you need. Your heart. What did I eat? What you gave me last night is what I ate. And it was good. I had a sandwich earlier, but yep, I had a sandwich. It's like I didn't want to ruin my appetite. Let me be. Okay. Woo! What a day, what a day. In the words of Erica Badu, what a day, what a day, what a day. Get to you. The great Bill Withers, and let me be the one you need. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to my sister from another mister, Angie Martin Turner. And I got to say this about Bill Withers. Bill was not the Hollywood type. You know, he wouldn't hang out with the Hollywood people. As a matter of fact, after his first two albums, he finally quit his day job. He worked at an airplane hangar, but he never quit his job because he never thought that, you know, this would bring him fame. And sure enough, it did. It did. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time, like this one from the Queen. Here's Aretha Franklin. Oh, The undisputed queen of soul, Miss Aretha Franklin, and Daydreaming. Good evening, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Now joining the Biggs Radio Network. Hello, everybody over at Biggs Radio. Trying to get my pajama bottoms up. Yes, I do my show in my pajamas. That's why I named it Bedtime Stories. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Um, we had such a great weekend in South Bend. As a matter of fact, one of the bathrooms was as big as my apartment. It was crazy. I'm like, whoa. Yep, it is true. It was it was a nice house, and it had like, I want to say like 7 bedrooms or something like that. You know, full basement, bathroom, living room, dining room, big old TVs, the whole thing. It was just beautiful. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. More love songs next.
Located right in the heart of the city in Indianapolis, Indiana, 5502 Emerson Way. They're serving up the flavors Indy's been missing. I'm talking about fall off the bone ribs, tender rib tips, juicy links, and all of your barbecue favorites. And don't forget about them sides, because we need the sides with our barbecue. I'm talking about homemade greens, creamy mac and cheese, fresh coleslaw, potato salad, and those famous baked beans that will keep you coming back for more. Let Garrett Smokehouse Barbecue cater your next event. Call them 317-722-0506. And hey, when you call, tell me your nighttime girlfriend Kim Patterson sent you. Garrett Smokehouse Barbecue, 5502 Emerson Way. Open 7 days a week. You can't beat that. Call them 317-722-0506. Real smoke, real flavor, real Indianapolis.
If you're into Southern Soul, then you gotta listen to this one. Born Thomas Melvin, but better known as the Mellow Man, and his new hit, Thank You. From the bottom of my heart, baby, I just wanna say thank you. He puts the soul in Southern Soul, and he always delivers. The Mailman and Thank You. Available on all download platforms and heard exclusively on WOSDRadio.com.
We're WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago. Taking you from the 8-track to the latest app. It's also WRLN, WBOE, and My Jam Radio. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Once again, welcoming the Biggs Radio Network, just joining us. Thank you, Kim Patterson, for your magnificent lead-in. I really appreciate you. Happy belated birthday to this gentleman, George Benson, whom we'll feature later on in Foreplay. Here's Star of the Story on Bedtime Stories. There it is. You are the star. Through the night. Good evening, Kim Patterson. I'm telling everybody on Facebook, you know, I'm well, not telling them, but asking for donations tonight. So yeah, I got a surprise when I woke up this morning. I'm like, okay, the insurance that I paid on what was that, Tuesday, Wednesday, that went to last month's insurance on the cars. So this one was due today, and they drafted it out of my account. I was like, oh boy, oh boy. So that left my account in a negative 300. I was like, oh boy. And the people that I thought were going to send me a check, instead they sent it to my Zelle account or to my bank account, which is through Zelle. And I was like, no, 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 don't. Too late. So boss lady got me working day and night. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Mm-mm. Usually I do her show, but I was surprised to hear you on tonight. So, but that's okay. You know, she deserved a night off. Yep. But yeah, not good. Not good. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. She, like I said, she deserved a night off. You know, without a team like us, she would have been even more tired. So, but once again, guys, I ain't begging. I'm just asking. If you can, you can. If you can't, I understand. You know, I spent money over the weekend on stuff that I really needed, and others contributed to that. Um, so, yeah, thanks to Brother Nino and Brother Kevin for for kicking the brother down. I appreciate it. I was like, you know, I'm not totally in the hole. I do have cash on me, but once I put the cash in the bank, you know the drill. So it's like it gets absorbed. So that's it. But I'm like, mm-mm. It is it is what it is. It is what it is. So thank you for whatever you can contribute. Like I said, I won't see it because once it gets up to a certain amount, then it resets at zero. So yeah. And I notice on you know and I hate to say it, on social media, people prey on people who need money. They always have these things: you want to get some money fast, like how fast and how much. I've been getting these calls ever since I put in an application for a loan. They say you've been approved for a loan up to $55,000, but you have to pay $600 a month to pay it back. I'm like, okay, so I'd have to keep the loan to pay it back. In other words, I couldn't spend an exuberant amount, like go out and buy a car, and then I would owe them $600. It'd be like paying two car notes. I'm gonna go buy a car. No, that's not a good idea. So the original and the remake, star of the story from Heat Wave and The Birthday Boy, Mr. George Benson, right here on Bedtime Stories. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Once again, hello to Kimberly Patterson, who was my lead-in tonight on Biggs Radio. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The boss lady, of course, taking a well-needed night off after everything that she did and the crew did over the weekend while we were in South Bend, Indiana. Mm-mm-mm. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Speaking of birthdays, this young lady has a birthday today, too. I think she just made 72, if I'm not mistaken. From right here in Chicago, Yvette Marie Stevens, better known as Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. Mm-mm. You. Even through the fire. Through the fire. To the limit.
Greer with bedtime stories.
so long. I'm back. The birthday girl, the birthday girl. Let's try this again. The birthday girl, Shaka Khan, along with Rod Stewart. That is You Send Me right here on Bedtime Stories. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I hit my mic and turned it around the other way. There we go. Okay, that's better. Hello to Rose. Thank you for listening. She said, "You're in your pajamas?" I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Do a live show via my, well, actually, I have a 2-bedroom apartment. So one bedroom is in the front of the apartment. The other one is in the back. And that's where I do bedtime stories. Yeah, nobody sleeps back here but me. And usually I'm asleep in my chair, like in the middle of the afternoon after I've done some work for the other radio stations. And I just lay back and just take a nap. That's what I do, Rose. That's what I do. Here's the first of 2 in a row from Climax. I'd still say yes again. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, I do my show in my pajamas. Yep. Yep. I get to do the show from the house. I have to drive down to the station. Those days are over with. Yep, those days are over. Driving to a station? Oh no. Not me. Mm-mm. Yep, I don't do that. Drive to a station? I wouldn't know what to do. I basically play my own music, so I guess I'd have to plug a hard drive into their computer. Yep, I'm not not used to doing that. When I did the B-side show live, I would take my computer down to the station because I had all the bells and whistles on mine. So that's how I did that. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Stay tuned. Good baby. Why does she sound like Michael Jackson? I guess that was their secret weapon, right? The shoe. Mm-mm. I miss you, but my aim is getting better. To see it. I miss you. Mm-mm-mm. Two in a row from Climax, the self sufficient girl group, which at that time featured Bernadette Cooper. I think there are two groups going out there, Climax and Climax Junior. I don't know. Climax, uh, there were enough members in the group to make two groups. But of course, we know the one with Miss Bernadette Cooper, who is a fellow Capricorn. That is I Miss You, going out to Monique on Bedtime Stories. It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, with the first of two in a row from one of the original members of The Temptations. Here's Eddie Kendricks, or Kendrick, and Intimate Friends on Bedtime Stories. Hey, KP. Mm-mm. Intimate friend. Hey, KP, you know how I feel about you. I don't mind saying that KP gave me the best hug when she saw me. I was like, oh, I really appreciate that, Kim. Yeah, I really appreciate that. While most people were, and I hate to say it, well, I can say it because I'm not saying their names. Um, anyway, um, Kimberly, you made me mess up what I was getting ready to say. I forgot. I forgot to say what I was going to say. But anyway, thank you for. Oh, here's what I was going to say. Where some were complaining about the accommodations, I was happy. I guess because I had my own room, right? And I had a choice of what bed to sleep in. So I was not complaining. None whatsoever. I had no complaints. Yep, none. Like I said, I was just happy to have a bed. I would have slept on the couch if Joe Mirage, right, and they didn't have to pay. If if Joe Mirage hadn't taken up the couch, I would have been sleeping on the couch had he not shown up. So, and that's just the way I am. You know, as long as everybody else is comfortable, I would have waited till everybody went to bed and like, okay, what's left? Oh, the bathroom. Okay, put a pallet down and sleep in the bathroom. So, I was once again, it was no big deal. Well, I want to sleep here. Well, I want this. I want to just go to sleep here, there, or anywhere. I just slept in the kitchen. It was big enough too. So, you know, but a lot of people, when you go out of town on something like that, it's like you never know what to expect. I mean, unless you stay at a Motel 6 or a Hilton, you never know what to expect in an Airbnb. You don't. The last Airbnb, which was in Indianapolis, I slept on the couch. No big deal. I you know, I slept on the couch. You know, but once again, I what they say, when you have lemons, you make lemonade. Hey, I had lemonade from Friday to Sunday. I had nothing to complain about. You know, I had enough. I had enough money for gas to get back home, and I was happy. And that's the whole thing. You know, you if you go somewhere expecting, you know, something else other than what it was, it's like, you know, I never even saw the room or the house or anything else. So, you know, I didn't have any grand expectations about this house, but they exceeded my expectations, and that was it. You know, it had a refrigerator full of beer, and that was it. That was enough for me right there. But, you know, you can't please everybody all the time. You just can't. I'm just, like I said, I'm just happy. You know, my equipment was safe at the VFW. I got my equipment back home and back in storage today, and that was it. You know, I learned a long time ago not to complain about stuff. I was at one time living with a young lady, and she, I noticed my clothes would stay in a pile. My clothes would stay in a pile, and then everybody else's clothes were in another pile, but theirs got washed. So I just wondered, I'm like, how come she didn't wash my clothes? And I couldn't figure it out. So, you know, weeks would go by and I would have dirty clothes. So finally I said, okay. So what I did was I took my clothes to my mama's house and I washed my clothes. And I went back over my girlfriend's house to go to sleep. I would bring all my stuff in, you know, in a bag, put it right back in the bag, and go back over her house. I should have stayed at my mama's house, but I wanted to be next to my girlfriend. Two in a row from Eddie Kendricks. Never Gonna Leave You, right here on Bedtime Stories. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. That song was co-written by a guy by the name of Ron Tyson. Ron ended up leaving, um, I guess, doing the songwriting duties over in Philadelphia and joined the Temptations. How about that? Temptations did an album in Philadelphia. I guess Ron said, I'm leaving with you guys. And that was it. That was the beginning of him being the first tenor of the group. Ron Tyson and his brother David, he sang with the Manhattans, if I'm not mistaken. How about that? It is your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Miss Hill, also to my sister Judy, and of course, the one, the only, Kimberly Patterson. Thank you so much for a great weekend in South Bend. Here's the first of two in a row from the Stylistics. This is People Make the World Go Round. That's for sure. It takes all kinds to make a world. This is Bedtime Stories. Pollute the air. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's funny that people complain about stuff and they don't have to pay for it, you know? Well, this is not right. When I stayed in Indy, we had a great room. It seemed like the bed took up the whole bedroom. And that was probably one of the best sleep that I had, some of the best sleep that I'd gotten in a while when I slept in Indy at the hotel in downtown Indianapolis. It was wonderful. Slept so well, I didn't want to get up. It was, and probably because of because of the drive. I'm not used to driving 2 hours anywhere. I'll drive an hour to go pick up a piece of equipment or something, but 2 hours just to stay somewhere, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know. But I do know that I had no complaints. You know, I always worry about not having enough money when I go out of town. And I didn't have to worry about that. You know, I knew that people had my back. So, my back wouldn't be out for the whole weekend. But once again, some people, they got a fuss. This ain't that. And my pillows weren't fluffed up or something like that. I'm like, get out of here. You know, stay at a 5-star hotel. There you go. I'm back. Yeah, stay at a 5-star hotel. If you don't like the accommodations, you know, if you don't like the way things are going, change it. Only you can change it. Yep, people complain, you know, when it ain't your money, I tell you. Yeah, take a little look. Ooh, I'm not gonna have time to do a who did it best. Hmm. I'm only gonna have time to play one more song before foreplay. Mm-mm. Just you and me. Baby. General from the Stylistics and give a little love right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, just ahead of foreplay in the next hour. Or, yeah, in about 4 minutes from now. Anyway, once again, hello to everybody who's listening. Barbara Giles, thank you. Tiffany Brooks, I know she's in the bed now. She has to head up her group downtown in Chicago. And Nefertiria, thank you so much. DJ Emmanuel Pippin, I'm glad he's on the mend. He had a stroke a couple of weeks ago and is bouncing back quickly. Well, when you get something like that, it's almost like God is trying to tell you something. You need to just slow down. You gotta slow down sometimes. Here's Usher. You got it bad. Just ahead of foreplay. Yes, I'm playing Usher. Yes, KP. Yes, I am. of the song. Yeah, you got it. I don't know what it was, but when I got to South Bend, I could breathe. I wasn't coughing or anything. Got back home, had to pull out that inhaler. I'm like, dang, could it be their air is different? I don't know. I don't know what it was. You got it bad. You got it. You got it. You got it bad. That's what Usher said. You got it. That is Usher Raymond the Fourth. And you got it bad right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Just a hint of foreplay. And I'll give you a hint of who it is tonight. Yeah, today or yesterday was his birthday. Now you know. They got you, and we got your music. We're WOSD Radio DB Chicago, WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago, WRLN Radio, a radio media station, WBOE, the best of everything, owned by Reggie Miles. And last but not least, My Jam Radio, owned by Mike Breezy. It is time for foreplay. It was born yesterday. Well, on that date yesterday, on March 22nd, which made him 83 years old. He's a singer, songwriter, guitarist. Uh, you can put him in any category you want. He can sing R&B, he can do jazz scatting, and he started his professional career at the age of 19. But way before that, he played the ukulele in his hometown of Pittsburgh. Yeah, he was known as Little Georgie Benson. But when he turned 19, he went on tour with a group called the Jack McDuff Experience. And his album Breezin' was certified triple platinum, hitting #1 on the Billboard album charts in 1976. He has won 10 Grammy Awards and honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Jazz purists turned their backs on him because, well, when he did this song, they were like, well, wait a minute. We thought you was jazz. He could be whatever he wanted to be. Jazz, R&B. I even heard him sing some blues. Tonight we feature in foreplay the legendary George Washington Benson. Do 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 do. Shoot, George was on a roll at one time. George was on a roll. Yep. George was killing them. For sure. Being close together. When I tell you George was on a roll, 10 Grammys throughout his career, 10. He did what I call the masterpiece. And a lot of people will disagree with me. His best album to me was a combination of smooth jazz and R&B. That album was Give Me the Night, which was produced by Quincy Jones. Well, Uncle Q put it down. It was a mixture, like I said, of R&B, smooth jazz, and just spectacular vocals. You know, I mean, George was killing it on Give Me the Night. The title tune right there. I mean, just, I remember a few years ago, and I'll probably tell this story maybe too much. He was over in London, and I guess he had laryngitis or something. He wasn't singing at his full potential. And they were like leaving. Oh my God, his voice. Oh, I'm like, excuse me, but last time I checked, he's a guitarist who sings, not a singer who plays guitar. There's a difference. There's a straight up difference. You know, you would have never walked out of a Van Halen concert because Eddie didn't sing. Well, Eddie wasn't a singer. David Lee Roth was a singer, but could play guitar. But nobody came to hear him play guitar. They came to hear him sing. Well, it's just the opposite with George Benson. He just happens to sing. You know. Mm-mm. Too far away. Yep, Give Me the Night was one of his best albums. People discovered him. Well, I knew of George Benson when I was a kid. He played with the Jack McDuff Quartet. That was the name of it, not the Experience, but the Jack McDuff Quartet. Jack McDuff was an organist that would set the organ on fire. I mean, his playing was just, you know, and George had to learn how to keep up with him. But George was never billed as a singer back in the day. He was billed as a guitarist. He didn't start singing or putting out songs until the late 70s, where he was actually, crooning on these songs, doing his best Donny Hathaway imitation. So, man, like, how come he not singing? He don't. I'm like, the man is 80 something years old. Come on, give him a break. 80, what, 83? 83. He's not going to blow like he used to. But one thing hasn't changed, his guitar playing. Here's a story that was told by Lee Ritenour. They accidentally erased a spot that George had played on. They accidentally erased it. So instead of calling George back, they called Lee Ritenour. And Lee came in and played George's part. and no one knew the difference. That's how phenomenal both of them are. They can mimic each other. Lee Rettenauer, who I'm going to play, and you can hear they both were influenced by Wes Montgomery. Yeah, you can hear the influence from the both of them. Um, they were like, okay. And I guess because George was black and Lee was white, that they said, okay, George, you're going to be the next Wes Montgomery. He's like, I am? Yes, you are. So that was it. But both of them, you can't tell the difference. They're both great. They're both bad boys. You're welcome. Hey, thank you for being on my live, sis. I appreciate it. Thank you. I, I can I can tell that you enjoyed yourself, and I'm glad that you did. And thank you for letting me be a part of it. You know, it's no sooner than I walked in, like I said, okay, cool, you can take over now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know, I can play on different people's equipment, but it was like he just like put me to work. Just he just knew I was going, you know, keep the momentum going.
You're in the middle of foreplay with Al Greer on Bedtime Stories.
There I go, there I go, there I go. Like he just put me to work. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I came just to do the you know, do the awards, but you know, I didn't mind. You know, if it had been anybody else, like play your own music. So he entrusted me in uh, knowing what I was, you know, what I was supposed to do. So I understood the assignment. So yep. But you know, we've worked together before. You know, so I'm just glad you had a good time. You know, when I saw you get out that big SUV, boy, I was like, oh Lord, look at there, red carpet ready. And I just got to say this: there was nothing but love in the room. You know, nothing but love in the room. You know, nobody had a bad thing to say about anybody that day. You know, it was just it was phenomenal. You know, I'm just just glad I was a part of it, you know. You know, I hope they got some pictures of me because I took some pictures of you. Unbeknownst to you, I took pictures. So, but what's going on, DJ Emmanuel Pippin? Mm-mm. How you doing, nephew? You know that was the hardest thing for me to ever do in my life. First to see you in the hospital, and then to see you doing rehabilitation. You know, that just, you know, the first day when I saw you in the hospital, I was like, can I do it? Can I do this? Can I do this? And I did it. You know, I didn't see the news clip on Channel 9. I sure did. If they send it to you, could you send it to me so I can see it? Because I know I wasn't in the shot, so that was cool. But back to you, DJ Emmanuel. I was, whew, wow. When I saw that you had had a stroke, I was like, all I could do was just shake my head. I'm like, Lord, give him strength. Just shake my head. And you always know who's in your corner when you get in a situation like that. You know who's in your corner. You know who you can call friend, brother, whatever. You know, you know who you can depend on. Now, I wasn't here Saturday because I was all the way in South Bend, Indiana. Otherwise, you know, I'd have been at room 43. But the outpouring of love right there shows you, you know, you're going to have people that like you, that tolerate you, and that love you unconditionally. Well, he's this way and he's that way and he's, yeah, and he's Emmanuel. He can be a hothead, he can be a hard head, you know. Hard head is what got him in the hospital. Hot head almost got him, you know, beat up or shot at, you know. But he said, "Don't make you start crying again, please." I just stopped crying, you know. When I left you the second time, not when you were at in the hospital, but when you left, when I left you at the rehab center, I thought it had started raining. I put on I put on the windshield wipers. I was and wasn't a drop of water outside. I was crying. I was like, no, no, you know. So same thing with Yolanda the other day. She asked me to give out these awards, and I'm like, there's just one word to describe this woman is selfless, not selfish, but unselfless, unselfish. Wrapping up foreplay on George Benson. Turn Out the Lamplight, originally done by Heatwave, but it didn't make it to the album because they ran out of space. So when they released the CD, they included that as a bonus track. Turn Out the Lamplight, written by Rod Temperton. Hello to two people that I love that are on my Facebook page, DJ Emmanuel Pippin and Yolanda Carter. Thank you for allowing me to be in your lives. You know, it was something when I found out that DJ Emmanuel had a stroke. I'm like, a stroke? What's really going on? What, you know? But he's on the mend. You know, like we said yesterday with Yolanda Carter, we say God is good. We say all the time, and all the time, God is good. All you have to do is ask Him. You know, all you have to do is ask. DJ Emmanuel Pippin said, I'm still here. It's like, yes, you are. You know, we've lost enough of our brothers. We don't need to lose anybody else. So, DJ Emmanuel Pippin, Yolanda Carter, I love you too. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You always know who's in your corner, you know, when you're backed into the corner, you know. Anyway, keep those donations coming tonight via Zelle at Al P. Greer. That's Al P as in Paul, Greer at gmail.com. Here's Lee Ridnour, and Is It You? I love you guys, and there's nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Is it you? My imagination. Woo! We're all still here.
The show designed with the lovers in mind. Bedtime stories with Al Greer.
Yeah. Thank you for once again. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate you all. I'll be able to pay my car note on Wednesday. Yay! Yay! Two in a row from Eric Tag. Well, actually, he's the lead singer on that song. That is No Sympathy from Lee Ritenour, or as we call him in the business, Rit. He was, I guess you could say he was a right-hand man when Quincy Jones needed somebody to come in and do a solo. You remember the song Strawberry Letter 23 by the Brothers Johnson? Sure you do. That was not George Johnson playing that solo, okay? Sorry to burst your bubble, but George Johnson of the Brothers Johnson did not play that. No, he didn't play that. That was played by Lee Ritenour. They had George to do it several times, and George couldn't quite get the grasp of it. So they said, okay, let's take 5, and we'll come back to you later on, George. He said, okay. He walked off. Quincy got on the phone and called Lee Ritenour and said, I need you to do the solo. Okay. Not only did he do the solo, he did it twice and played to himself. Lee Ritenour. Here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, and the great Walter Jackson. What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Air Canada. Oh, no. Oh, no. Justin Timberlake. Yep, we are all still here. You and Yolanda are walking miracles. You know, some people have a stroke and they're done. Some people go through what Yolanda went through and they're out of here. And you all are still here.
This is Kimberly, one of Al's guests.
I always say this. Somebody's got to stick around and tell the story, right? Somebody's got to tell the story. So we're still here to tell the story. It's over and done. Somebody has to tell the story. Someone has to lead other people. You know, if there's no one around to tell a story, then we don't learn anything. You know, storytellers. Producer Carl Davis convinced him to come from Detroit to Chicago. That's the best decision he probably ever made in his life. Walter Jackson, and welcome home here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. What is my mic doing again? Okay, there we go. Speaking of mics, thank you to DJ Emmanuel for this mic that I've been using. I got mics that were like two, three, $400, $500, and he just gave me this mic, and it sounds just as good or better than the other mics that I had. So, and I've been using it ever since. I tried the other mic that I had before, and I'm like, I'm not going to use that one. This one, something about the sensitivity on this mic. I don't have to talk really loud, just talk in my natural voice. I don't have to holler or anything. Anyway, once again, shout out to DJ Emmanuel Pippin, who's on the mend from a stroke a few weeks ago and back at home. Get better soon, sir. Here's Michael McDonald with a little help from Tony Braxton. This is Stop, Look, and Listen to Your Heart here on Bedtime Stories. Mm. You need a bulldog. You can't hide. Yes, I'm drinking that water. Look. It doesn't matter who does that song, as long as they do it right. You can't mess it up. Not with a song written by Tom Bell and Linda Creed. Stop, look, and listen to your heart. Here on Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Ms. Hill, thank you so much for staying up with me. Barbara Giles, I don't know if she's listening or not. I think she's sneaking and listening, but she's not on Facebook, but that's cool. Thank you for your donation. She just walked up to me and, put some money in my hand. I said, thank you, Barbara. I really appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody who has donated tonight via Zelle at alpgreer@gmail.com. That's alpgreer at gmail.com. I didn't expect it to come in as fast I said, no sooner than I said it, people started sending money. I'm like, oh my goodness. Thank you so much. You all are truly a blessing. Here's some leftovers from foreplay from Mr. George Benson. Happy belated birthday, George. Mm. So well. Mm-hmm. What you spoke to me. All of my life. Day and night. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, sir. Love you and to hold you. Round you every day and night. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it makes me wonder. Rehearsed. New day. Mm-mm. And that new day's coming soon. That makes me wonder. New day. It's coming soon. That song just sends chills through my body. New Day from George Benson, wrapping up this show on a Monday. Thank you so much for staying up with me. To Duran, to Henry Cooper, to my sister Angie, Kim Patterson, thank you so much. My sister Yolanda, my cousin Avis, thank you so much. My nephew, DJ Emmanuel, get well soon, sir. We got things to do, especially that picnic this year. And everybody, thank you so much for your donations. Keep them coming. Don't go to sleep without sending me one, okay? Donations are welcome at Zelle at alpgreer@gmail.com. That's Al, P as in Paul, Greer at gmail.com. Till next time, blue skies, green lights, and peace. Good night, Monique. Do, 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 do. Good night, everybody. And to all, a good night. Had to put on my other headphones to check out George Benson. So, yeah, make sure everything's working. And it's working just fine. Good night, everybody. Love you guys. Thank you for your donations once again. It's Al, P as in Paul, Greer at gmail.com. Al P. Greer at gmail.com. And appreciate each and every one of you all. makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.